Welcome into another episode of Coffee, a Camera, and Country Earl. And a pleasure this evening to introduce everyone watching to our brand new Clay County Clerk. Not new by no means to the clerk office. Her smiling face has been here a number of years. Miss Beverly Craft. Congratulations first off, Beverly, on the appointment, and we're sure that you'll do an awesome job.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Matt.
A lot of people have saw you, been accustomed to you in the office, as we said, for a number of years. I ain't going to say how long. I think I just learned it there a while ago, didn't I? In the fiscal
almost
court meeting.
22.
22 years dedication. I can say this, coming here with radio for election returns, she's always got us took care of. We get a big printout of registered voters in Clay County, Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Green Party, whatever party you are that you're registered. It's all right there, black and white, waiting on us. All the precinct numbers are waiting on us. You have us a recapitulation sheet that is waiting on us. But that's one thing that this office does. And from the media standpoint, you've always been wonderful. And this whole office has always been wonderful. But that's probably your big topic right now. We live in a crazy COVID time. COVID-19 is just crazy. I've never seen nothing like it in my life, and we're the same generation. I know you haven't either, but we heard the rumors about it's going to be mail-in only, going to be absentee only, you can vote in the clerk's office only, then there's going to be 5 precincts only. Well, the motion has come, and the board has agreed. 20 precincts will be open on November 3rd election. So all 20 precincts.
All 20 precincts. And I'll back up and give just a little bit of history on that. When you consider all over the United States, all the different counties that needed to have the paper verified voting system, they didn't know if they was going to be able to supply machines for all the counties. That's one of the reasons for the reduction in number of precincts, because just the logistics of being able to obtain that much equipment across the whole United States. And then the other thing was poll workers. In May, which ended up being June, with what should have been about 90 precinct workers, we only had 6. And we ended up having to scrounge up another 12 to have 18 workers to staff our one voting precinct that we had. So even, if we'd have had all the equipment needed in June, we still couldn't have had all of our 20 precincts for lack of election officers. And it's that way across the state and the United States, because of a lot of your precinct workers are elderly and they fall under the high risk category. And then, so we got through June, everything worked real well. Our absentees, the state sent us new equipment to handle the large volume of absentee paper ballots that we would have, because our old equipment, was just, we normally handled a 10th of what, what we ended up with in June. So anyway, so that being said, the state then sent us some more equipment, because we were one of the counties in the state. There were like 27 counties out of 120 that really needed a lot of the new equipment, and so they sent us enough that we could very comfortably staff 5 locations and have spares left over and whatnot. And so that's what we thought we'd do, and then we reconfigured the equipment to be able to work in 7. And a lot of the school systems around the state were not allowing the school buildings to be used for, they didn't know if school was going to be open, if it wasn't going to be open, and if it were to be open, how are they going to get it cleaned after everybody's been there voting to be ready for the kids to come back in the next day. So it wasn't just a matter of whether we wanted 20 or whether we wanted 5 or 7. There's a whole lot goes into it. So anyway, then the county had agreed to go ahead, because we needed to be ready for 2022 for the county elections. 2021's an off year. There shouldn't be an election unless we have to have an emergency election or something. But Anyway, to get ready for 2022, our system was being decertified by the state because they're wanting, nationwide a paper verified. And by that I mean, at the end of the day, you can dump those out and count them. You've got a electronic ballot marker, and that'll print your ballot out. You put it in the scanner and to count it. But on the electronic machines, people were beginning to have a general distrust because you didn't, you were dependent on the software to tell you how many votes, which way they had gone throughout the day. And there was no way, well, there was ways we could go back, but you had to get the company to come and get the votes off. And it was just, people wanted paper verified that you could dump out if need be at the end of the day and hand count them if nothing else, So that's what was taking place, and that was already underway. It had nothing to do with COVID. It had nothing to do with presidential election. It was already underway for 2022. Well, after COVID came, then here you have all these counties without that capability of handling that big number of paper ballots. So the state worked and got the contracts and used the CARES money and this and that, and got us the equipment needed to do made, and they got us some more for November. And so, all right, so then we were at 7 precincts, or voting locations, not precincts. So so as everybody kind of throughout the country got settled in on their reduced number of voting locations, then it come up that, well, you all probably could get enough equipment, so do we want to take that chance and try to be at the last minute of whether we can get our equipment programmed, or do we want to have it ready to go in the middle of September? What if somebody in the office gets COVID? We have to shut, you got a lot of different things to play into that.
Right.
But anyway, so working with the fiscal court and the county board of elections, and our Republican chairman did a lot of the work on it. He worked with the county judge, and they called the company and this and that and got it worked out that yes, they could indeed have it here if we chose to do so. So they did this week. We got it here. Actually, it came one day last week. They got it assembled. It took like 2 days to get everything unboxed and put together. They came yesterday and set the machines. Our accuracy board met. We will have the public inspection of machines tomorrow, and we are opening for early voting, early walk-in absentee, Tuesday the 13th. And anybody that wants to, regardless of reason, can come and vote walk-in absentee. It's not, you don't have to sign an affidavit that you're going to be out of the county on election day. You won't be asked, if you're whatever reasons, if you're working out of the county, if you've got, if you're a student living out of state or whatever, anybody that wants to can come because of the COVID and vote early. All right. That'll start here in this office the 13th, go through November the 2nd. Then on election day, we will have all of the regular precincts open, all 20, plus we will have one central voting location to be held in this office, that in case that one of the precincts end up with none of their workers able to be there, and we don't have enough alternates to staff that, which we do have a lot of alternates at this point. We had a lot of people, when they found out that we could have the 20, we had people, we had a lot of volunteers. We had made it up to 54. At the time we were going to have 7. We had ended up with 54, so that was great. Well, then now we probably have, I've not even got the final count on it, but we've probably got, we've easily got twice that. So we're well staffed. And so anyway, but that central polling location, if any of the locations outside in the precincts, something happens that they need to shut down, or if there ends up to be a big outbreak and the governor suspends voting or something at the outer precincts and everybody can come into the central precinct, whatever, And anybody that wants to, or if they happen to be even working such that their schedule would be easier for them to stop here and vote than it would be to go all the way back home. Say their work schedule.
Mhm.
You know, you leave home and you leave home before 6 in the morning, and it's going to be hard for you to get back home by 6 that evening to vote. Then you're passing through here, you can stop and vote.
Okay.
And we can take anybody, no matter where you live inside the county, at this central voting location. So we'll have 21 spots open on election day.
That's wonderful.
The precincts will be precinct specific.
Right.
And if you go to the wrong one, you need to go to the right one.
We'll point you in the right direction.
Point you in the right direction. But we will have this alternative location. So
that'll be 6 to 6 as usual. 6 a.m., 6 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people can vote.
And we're expecting a huge turnout. The state is projecting over 10,000 person turnout for this election in Clay County, which a normal presidential election, or the last one, we had about 7,300, somewhere in that neighborhood. So we're expecting a really big turnout.
I will say this about Clay County. Every time that I've ever done the returns here, we're always between 3.5% to about 7% above the state's projection. So if we still have the 14,000 plus registered voters here, and we're getting 10,000, my goodness, I mean, that's an astronomical number.
Yeah.
That is an awesome number.
That is awesome.
I mean, it is awesome. And vote. No matter who you vote for, go vote. It's your God-given right. Vote. Don't sit home. You're watching us. You may be watching us at midnight. You may be watching this at 2 in the afternoon. Here's what we're telling you. It's not November 3rd yet. You can come to the clerk's office right now if you're out and you're going to be working, and you can vote. No matter where you're at.
Starting October 13th.
Yeah, October 13th. You can come here until 4:30 p.m. and then 6 to 6 on Election Day. So there's no excuses.
No excuses.
To not go vote. The absentees are done. The normal absentees are a little bit different. They have to fill them out online. And I know since this may be first airing, probably October the 9th, some of that has already passed as far as your deadlines to sign up. I know you've had stuff out from this office. I've seen some stuff on Facebook, some other social media telling folks to log on. You can log on easily and fill that out for the ones that vote normal absentees.
That is to obtain your application
Right.
to get the paper ballot in the mail,
Mm-hmm.
which ends tomorrow, or you can call this office and request it
Okay.
as well. So, but that ends tomorrow, 4:30.
So people, if you're accustomed to that, I
You
know
want one
like
by mail.
my dad and mom gets theirs by mail due to their physical conditions, and we always get theirs mail the past couple of elections. So that's the reason I'm kind of always well versed on that, because I come here to the office and do a little work, get things sent to them, they can sign, and it's pretty handy. You know, it's
is
real
handy.
handy. And I, for one, and another thing I think we may want to touch on is that the old machines, because you're going to have some people say, well, I don't like this new way. Why are you doing this? Why are you spending money? Well, it's not that we're spending it freely, but the old machines were becoming obsolete. There was not going to be able to use the flip-up computers that we voted with the past few elections. They were becoming obsolete, and it's not we, Clay County, saying they're obsolete. It's the company, the state, and everybody else saying that they're obsolete. So this is the way
Federal.
we have to go. So we have to do this. But I'll say this, voting the last time, and I know we had a huge turnout at Clay County High School back in June, most people favored it. I mean, you can circle what you want, you flip it over, no one sees you, there's the cubicle set up, you have your privacy, then you bottom feed insert it into the scanner, and you're done. And no one knows. And you still have privacy.
Yeah.
And it's kind of really mistake proof on the voter.
It is.
Because I mean, I trust filling in a circle rather than poking, because
Well-
sometimes you can actually hit the wrong thing not knowing.
Yeah, but let me back up here, because the fiscal court wanted to have 2 machines at each precinct.
Right.
So our machines, because a lot of people want to vote on a machine. So we have the paper ballots that we've been mailing to everybody that you fill in the circle, and
Right.
then we scan them in when they get back on the County Board of Elections on election day. They scan all the ones that came through the mail. But on election day, we will have machines. You will be given a blank card that
Okay.
you slide into the machine, and you'll choose your candidates just like you did
Oh,
on the
okay.
old ones. And then it will print those out on your card that you can look at, and you can see, yes,
Okay.
this is who I voted for. You take that card and slide it into the scanner.
Scanner. Okay.
So, you know, it'll take either kind. It'll take the ones you pencil in, or it'll take these on the machine. But
Well, that's even
but
simple too, but
it
you
is
can
simple
actually
too,
print it
but you
and
can.
see it. Okay.
Yes.
Great.
If it's, you know, you can change your mind while you're on here. And
Mhm.
if you see that you've made a mistake when your ballot prints out, you can go void that ballot that you have in your hand with the election officer there. Void it.
Okay.
Now you can't throw it in the garbage because
Right.
the numbers have to be accounted for.
Yeah.
But they'll shut that ballot where your privacy is, you know,
Right.
maintained, and then they'll give you another blank card so that you can go. You know, you just scan in one, you just get to vote once. But if you mess that card up,
Right.
you do have another chance
Okay.
to finish it.
Good deal. So that's wonderful. Even makes it more easier
Yeah.
for the people to do it. So that's, of course, coming up election day, and other things that go on in this office that we may touch on. Let some of the public know. I know in the past, the licensing of vehicles, as far as purchasing vehicles, I should say. I know from working with the fiscal court and seeing you in meetings, and then the former clerk Mike Baker in meetings, a lot of people sometimes, for whatever reason, buy an automobile somewhere else opposite of Clay County. If you do that, tell them that you want Clay County handling everything, because what that does is, if you don't tell them, it hurts our county. It hurts our tax base, our clerk's office. So many other taxes that come off that for our county, we get hurt by it. So, I mean, that's all you gotta do. If
It
you buy a
goes to
car
our
in
county.
Michigan,
Yeah.
you can say, hey, I want this paperwork handled at my local clerk's
Yeah.
office.
Or if you go to Lexington or London, wherever,
Right.
because it's not anything like facetious on their part.
No.
They're just taking it for their convenience to their county clerk's
Right.
office, but that's the county that's getting the clerk fee and the
Mm-hmm.
percentage of the taxes rather than your own county getting that. So
Yep.
if you do choose to buy one out of the county, please do ask to have this in here.
Well, we gotta mention that, because we
You
gotta
do,
take
and
care
I'm
of
glad
us.
you did. Mhm.
Us first. I mean, that's been a bigger deal, I guess. You know, in today's modern world, a lot of internet, and you know, 15 years ago, it probably wasn't a big deal at all. But in today's world, I mean, you know, people shop, and it's more relevant today than it used to be. But this office is open 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, and I tell you, this staff here does a wonderful job. Not only with your vehicle license and paying taxes and getting registered to vote, you can do that. You can come here and get the card if you're moving locations and changing parties, whatever. The info's here. You can get that. Deeds are here. The deed room is up, and I've spent a lot of time in there with the Clay County Fiscal Court searching things and whatnot, and just a bountiful place of information.
History.
Oh, it's wonderful.
And I do need to mention, we are going to be open 4 Saturdays. We're opening this Saturday and the next 3 to accommodate election services.
Okay. Now
So,
what? Is it going to be 8 to 12? or
8 to 12.
8 to
Yeah.
12. And that'll
Yep.
be Saturday. So even after that, is Saturday's going to come? Or
We
is
don't
that
know
just.
yet. You know, we started closing on Saturdays during the COVID
Right.
because we were limited on our staff and whatnot, and so
Play that by ear.
we'll have to
I
play
guess.
that one by ear after we get.
Well, anything else you want to add, Miss Beverly?
No, thank you guys for coming.
Hey, and again, we really mean it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Taking over Mike Baker, and we all love Mike, and we all know Mike. And Mike is a wonderful human being
Absolutely.
that has done a wonderful job, and you have spent a number of years with Mike, and you've done a wonderful job with the people, and the people are in good hands with
And-
Miss Beverly.
Yeah, well, thank you, and I just hope everybody will be a little bit patient with us. It's going to take two people to keep up with Mike Baker, but we'll get you worked in.
But again, congratulations, Beverly, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.